Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. We are here for a slightly later reaction to Inter 2, Udinese 1. Inter got 3 points back from the international break in the way that we wanted it. Unfortunately, on the other side, I thought, because I'm doing the stream a little bit later today, I went out for a Mother's Day meal with my mom. Of course, happy Mother's Day to all mothers out there. And Eid Mubarak as well to all the Muslim brothers out there. I know that you guys celebrate it, some today, some tomorrow, but Eid Mubarak, Happy Mother's Day. But yeah, my plan was I'm gonna do it later today, but maybe we can do like a watch along or like a hate along to Milan, Napoli or Napoli Milan. And yeah, I'm glad I didn't do that. I'm glad I'm not wasting your time, my energy, or your energy on watching those useless guys over there on the other side of the Naviglio. Those guys. I mean, at least let's laugh. Let's get one benefit out of these guys because they are absolutely useless this year. At least let's laugh at their position in the table. I mean, this is even worse than the Banter era. If they end up finishing ninth, right? I think the worst position was it. Or did they end? They might have finished 10th actually in the Banter era. But this is Banter era level. I mean, that is disgraceful. That is absolutely disgraceful. And let's see if there's. Oh my goodness! And just as I turn on the commentary to see, I just see that the star January signing, Santi Jimenez has missed a penalty. Wow! Saved by Alex Meret. Wow! Talk about useless. Talk about useless. That is annoying. But anyway, we'll focus on ourselves because we got the 3 points. And let me see who is in the house today. Only 11 people in the stream. I expected that. Usually, if I do it straight after the match, is a lot more active. But I'm happy with whoever turned up. I appreciate you guys. Of course, channel mod member Matija Jovic Brate in the house. This game was too easy, but that was not the Inter way. We had to make it interesting until the last second. Why? Why do these guys always do this to us, guys? It's not the Inter way, as Mattia said. If it wasn't stressful and if it wasn't causing us headache and high blood pressure, and even got Inzaghi sent off today. He even got Inzaghi sent off today into two-faced Inter. But it's just how they do it, isn't it? We just can't. Very rarely we have stress-free. I mean, last season was one of the few times an Interista we went through pretty much most of the season. Well, after January, February, it was pretty stress-free. This Inter, I think they're gonna kick us in the balls all the way up until match day 38, guys. So get ready for it. These guys are gonna bust our balls right up until the last match day. Why was Demone angry, Zeki? Bro, he was fuming because so were we as fans. I mean, I was watching that game. Beautiful performance, about let's say 65 minutes, probably 60, 65 minutes, maybe even 70. I think Inzaghi said 70 in his post-match interview, but I would say around 60, 65 minutes. Almost perfect performance by Inter. Maybe could have scored more, but complete control of the game. Everything, just easy peasy. Udinese barely had a shot on goal. And then substitutions, which are Inzaghi's fault as usual, but as in the substitutes themselves did absolutely F all, came on. The game just broke up into lost concentration. And that's why Demone was angry. That's why he turned into Demone, because Inter wanted to shit the bed just like Milan are doing right now. Matteo is glad to get the 3 points. Yeah, thankful for Sommer at the end. Thankful for Sommer for sure. Solet approved. Hey, man, that guy was man of the match. Room Tem Coke, that guy was man of the match. I know Udinese lost and he's a centre-back, but that guy was man of the match. What a performance. And yeah, you guys know me. If you follow me for a while, not that I was like, I'm not going to claim to be the number one pusher for him, because that was definitely Simi. If you know him, Simple Simi on Twitter, our brother from Austria who watches RB Leipzig regularly. But Omar Solet was one of the guys that I was on when he was at RB Leipzig, and I liked him more than Pavlovic. Pavlovic was the famous one from that RB Leipzig centre-back partnership. But people that know me for what followed my channel for a while know that I liked Omar Solet for quite a couple of years. And I was surprised that no one went in for him when his contract situation happened at RB Leipzig and he ended up Udinese. And yeah, he's looking really good. The issue is, again, does he look like a centre back? I don't really know about that. Maybe he could do it, but everything that he was impressive in is still, the parts going forward and wide defending, on the channels and everything. Being a centre back is a completely different ball game, but very, very impressive from him, and he deserved at least to draw a point. That guy, he was amazing. Anyway, I'm gonna stop looking at the Milan game now. I'm just gonna take the foot mob off the Milan game and let's just look at Inter. Let's go to the Inter Udinese game. Arna Letale. If you don't know what that means, if you've seen it on Italian Twitter, that's what they're calling Arnautovic. It's a play on the name Arna in Italian, Arma with M, but phonetically this sounds the same. Arma means weapon, lethal weapon, like the movie. So they're calling him Lethal Arnautovic or Lethal Weapon Arnautovic. And he was today. Look at him celebrating like Marcus Thuram, copying the celebration. He was feeling himself today. He's been feeling himself for a few weeks now. You could say, guys, can we say that Marco Arnautovic is one of the most informed players at Inter right now? I think we can say that. It sounds crazy to say in 2025. We didn't expect this to be saying this, but it's true. Definitely true. This guy has turned things around. It's taken him so long, much longer than it was supposed to take, and much longer than we expected, and I'm sure Inzaghi and the management expected. But he's finally looking like he understands. The shirt doesn't look like it weighs too much. He's not having the shitty attitude and dropping his shoulders. Obviously, that comes from missing so many chances all the time, but he's just looking mentally and everything. He's looked like he's playing with a lot more freedom and a lot more confidence now, which is why I was never actually really against this signing. Yeah, and 100% Mattia. Arnautovic at the moment better than Correa and Taremi together, because Taremi today was injured, couldn't even partake in the game, but he scored for Iran in the international break with an amazing volley as well. So he can shoot the guy, but clearly can't do it for Inter. And then Correa, I saw people were getting gassed up about his Mezzala performance a few weeks back, where I was on holiday, and I came back and I was like, what the hell has happened? Everyone's gassing up to Correa for playing as a Mezzala, and that's his future position. But the guy was complete ass cheeks when he came on. Excuse me. But yeah, I've been saying it for a few weeks now. Arnautovic for me is the third striker. I think he should be ahead in the pecking order of Taremi and for sure of Correa. And yeah, one thing Mattia's forgot to do it for once. Mattia, my reliable, steady man, but that's a prop to you because you do it so often. You do it every single time that you forgot it, and then I've noticed it. Leave a thumbs up, guys. 26 people right now. Please leave a thumbs up. Support the channel. That's the best thing you can do outside of becoming a channel member. Sommer saved us again today. I feel like he's underrated or even by Inter fans. Yeah, 100%. He's always goes under the radar, but today, big save to keep us in the 3 points. Inzaghi effed it up with the subs. Yeah, I agree, Mossa, but at the same time, the subs themselves, today Inzaghi put out a rotated lineup, with subs starting. And of course, a lot of it is also due to injury. Oh, you did it. Or maybe because I've started the Oh yeah, sorry. There it is. Dimarco's back. We hit that like button. Apologies, Mattia. Of course, he wouldn't. For me to even question Mattia's reliability, he is the most reliable person on this channel, more than me. He's always reliable. But yeah, I mean the lineup today. from Inzaghi. Of course, we know some of it was forced, but a lot of it was, backups, and they came through. The backups really performed today. Arnautovic performed, Frattesi performed, Carlos Augusto performed, Darmian performed. But then the backups, or even you could say, the thing is, the some of these are not even backups. I mean, Bisek is borderline a starter now, right, for us. Barella, of course, is a starter. And Barella himself, he wasn't particularly great, but Correa, completely useless when he came on, didn't hold one ball, completely. He had a couple of nice moments here and there, but in terms of how Udinese got back into the game, it was because of Correa just being useless, not being able to hold up the ball. Aslani, as usual, his shaky self, not really adding much solidity after Hakan comes off. And Zalewski, we know he's more of a chaos attacking player. But yeah, no, I agree. Like, there was no need, and I'm not going to focus on the negatives too long because we did play a really good game, but I don't really see the reason to sub off Frattesi the 63rd minute, to bring Barella on, keep Mkhitaryan on, or take Chala off. I didn't really understand that. Take Arnautovic off so early as well. I didn't really understand that. Making the subs. But yeah, the Dimarco one, of course, that had to happen. This guy has been out injured. Of course, he's not gonna have 90 minutes in leg. But I think Arnautovic, by the looks of it, he always has some sort of issue. Like, it just seems like he can't complete 90 minutes. So I guess as I'm speaking to you, because I saw Inzaghi's interview, it seemed like he had a little issue that he was needed to be taken off. So actually, I mean, yeah, maybe and obviously Darmian's the same as Dimarco. He's just come back from injury, so I understand. So actually, speaking to you now, the substitutes, I can't really actually argue with it too much. It's just because he said Hakan's gonna have to play again against he's gonna have to play against Milan in the midweek because Aslani. But yeah, he said he's gonna play in the Milan game, so that's why he rested him. So in the end, I can't really blame him too much. It's more on the substitutes themselves in the way they came, and the team in general. I think we've seen this Inter team. What match day are we on now? 31, 30. Like, we know this team this season. It's not the Inter of last season, and definitely not in the Serie A. And the Champions League is a different beast. But you just see, like, it's 2-0. They feel confident. They've, played Udinese off the park. But that's the thing. At 2-0, Udinese were played off the park, but they remained on the park. They didn't walk. They didn't give up. Their coach brought on attacking substitutes, and they've been doing well with Udinese. Like, it's not the Udinese of past season. This is the best Udinese performance in terms of points in 12 years, I heard the commentator say. So, look, the 10th, very comfortably 10th. They could have even challenged Milan if they had a little bit more about them to jump above Milan. That would have been lovely. But, it's a good team. And Costa Runjajic did a good job. At the end, there's another team on the other side. As much as I also want to criticize Inter, these guys could have just given up. They've got literally nothing to play for Udinese. They could go on a holiday right now. They're not going to get relegated. Obviously, they're not going to get into Europe either. They could literally go on holiday, but fair play to them. They stayed into the game. Their coach, Luca, brought on very attacking substitutes. Ike Bravo, attacker at halftime. Payero, a more attacking midfielder. Simpafundi, an attacking midfielder. He was not happy with how things were going because at halftime, I don't think they even had a shot. Not even off target. I think it was just the one shot from Luca, the header, and that's it. That's all they had. So fair play to them. And then, yeah, this is one of the most accurate rating maps I've ever seen. These guys were carried by the centre back today. What a performance today. Most dribbles completed with from a centre back. That says a lot. And talking about, this is a casting call, an audition. The most linked centre back to Inter probably over the last year or so to us has been this guy, Žaka Bijol, Slovenian, he's a good defender and he's very good for Slovenia and he's good for Udinese, but every audition, every time that I've watched him in a big game where I'm like, I'm going to focus in on Bijol, always never impressed or done a mistake or something. Today, when you talk about auditioning, this was a guy coming through on his audition. This guy was like, interlinks or big team links, let me show you what I'm all about. And this is how you take advantage of playing against a big team when you know that scouts and people are going to be watching. This guy absolutely bored out today. What a performance. What a performance. But again, I don't know if I know he was very impressive today. But again, look where he played as a left center in basically in the B-sec position. What B-sec played in the second half, or the left centre back position, and the other times he's also played on the right side sometimes. In the centre, I don't know. He would need work because he's all about going forward, similar to B-sec. There's specific characteristics when you're playing as a central centre back. It's a different ball game. It's a different characteristics between Bijol and Solet. Well, the thing is, Gabriel, like 100%, I prefer Solet as a player, and that's been for a while. But again, as a central centre back in a much more positional way, because what you saw, Solet was even the 1v1 against Marcus Thuram on the sides. He was able to be 1v1 against Thuram. Thuram tried a couple of times, step over, chop, fake, and Solet stayed with him. And there was even a reaction from Thuram. I'm guessing, they're probably similar age group. I wouldn't be surprised if they played in the youth teams together, because Solet's 25, Thuram's 27, but they're both French. But Thuram did this in slow motion. And one point when Solet blocked his shot, it was like Thuram was on it today. Thuram was definitely one of our best players today. And he couldn't get past Solet. But that's what I mean. He's definitely comfortable in the wide spaces, defending and attacking, getting involved and being very, aggressive. Being centre back is all about becoming more of a leader and leading the line and, being slightly behind the other players and the positioning, keeping the offside line. If you're going to play offside trap, is a lot more cerebral than the sides where you're much more man to man and just, you can just be aggressive and have a man as a reference. In the center, you also could have the reference man if you're playing, the other team is just playing one striker and you just man marking the main striker, like Luca, for example. But it's a very different game, which probably suits someone like Bijol more. But I don't think, Bijol just doesn't impress me. I hope he's just off the list now, Bijol. I just don't think, he doesn't look intermaterial to me, and he's got a turning ratio of a ship, of an oil tanker. So yeah, I would like to add a little bit of athleticism in our centre back line, to be honest. And he's somehow, I think he's even going to be slower than Acerbi in a way, even though he's younger. He's just really heavy. He's a very heavy defender. We need to destroy Milan. Yeah, I hope so. Oh, Jovic is a 2-1 now. You shouldn't have said that, Matteo, because now I'm going to have to have that on the side, aren't I? I was happy to just not even have a look at that. Maybe I'll keep it off. Maybe it's because I wasn't looking and then Milan scored. So I'm not even going to look. I'm going to just ignore it. And then if something happens, you guys can let me know. Darmian as a captain. Yeah, Darmian today was captain. It was good to see him as a captain. And he had as his usual okay performance, solid at the back, nothing going forward. But as usual, nothing to complain about with the Mati Dom's performance. Hope Darmian for Hakimi. That's dream talk right there. Why would PSG ever do that? Sommer looked like Ochoa there for a second. Yeah, he did make a very impressive save, didn't he? Arnautovic, I started off speaking about it. Let's have a quick look at his stats. Not too heavily involved in the 55 minutes, but he was feeling himself today. When he's feeling himself, he always gets the comparison of when he was coming up, Interisti will remember when we signed him when he was 21 or 20 years old. He was supposed to be the new Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And you can see it in his running style, in his demeanor, in his attitude. He's got that arrogance about him. He still has that kind of Ibrahimovic swagger about him. And of course, the size and the technique, the technical ability. And today he was on it, like, some nice touches. Sometimes it gets, when he starts feeling himself too much and he starts doing too many back heels, too much, he wants to get, rather than shooting more, he starts to do other things rather than actually, like, sometimes like he scored the goal today, but then he had an opportunity to shoot again, but instead he tried to pass to Frattesi. But he's definitely providing a lot more, as we said, more than any of the other backup strikers. 22 touches, 4 in the box, 1 out of 1 dribbles, 3 duels won. Yeah, he's doing well. He's doing well. He's just looking a lot more comfortable in his skin and in this Inter shirt for sure. Yeah, 100%. Let me see some of your comments. Haven't seen Solet use a centre back, different role together, as you're saying. Yeah, Milan absolute clowns. Arna said in an interview that he asked them. There you go. Yeah, so that's what I mean. In the end, now that I've like kind of talked to you guys about the substitutions, I actually can't really blame the substitutions that much. Yeah, the substitutes themselves need to get their act together when they come on. It was not good. It was not good at all. Yeah, as D-Red says, Correa was not great. Let me see what else he's saying. Sun Tzu, is Mickey as important as Inzaghi makes him out to be? I mean, Mickey today I thought he had a great game. Of course, some mistakes in there happens. It wasn't a perfect game. And when he gets into these shooting positions, he's just atrocious. Like this one, he completely shot it to the Curva Nord. This one I don't remember. Oh yeah, that was the blocked one. I remember which one. But this is why Sun Tzu, he keeps things ticking next to Hakan, because we know, especially when Frattesi is playing, 17 passes compared to 49. I mean, that's a pretty much triple, to keep things ticking along, and to combine with Dimarco on that side, and with no Zielinski, especially right now with no Zielinski. You just need to like be at peace with it now, especially with no Zielinski, probably until April, by the sounds of it, minimum until April. Mkhitaryan is going to be starting, and today I thought he had a great game, really, really good game. I saw some people saying that he could have even maybe had a red card for that overhead kick that hit the guy in the head, but that's just, it's dangerous play. But of course, he hurt the guy, but it's not. Sorry, guys. I pressed the back button on my mouse by mistake, and it kicked me out, and now I have to reload the slides again, and share my screen again. Just give me 1 second. Apologies for that. Had a boomer moment there. Well, not really boomer moment. Just press the wrong button. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Mkhitaryan. I thought he was great. Yeah, I thought he had a great game. But I saw some people saying he could have got a red card, but not really. Not really. Arna is a beast physically. You should call him Marco Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, he is. He is. Arna Revival. Yeah, I mean, you guys know it's the Arna Revival. Nick Knox has been going on for a few weeks, because this is Inzaghi, and you guys know I was never on the Arna hate ship or train. With most of you guys, probably 90% of the fan base hated the guy. But to me, his signing, my only issue with his signing was always his injury issues and his age. And obviously, it was not good to sign that guy, a 34-year-old, for 10 million. But aside of that, in terms of actually his ability and skill set, I thought it was a good buy, because this is what he is. He is a good he's a big guy, but he's good technically, can hold up the ball, can score, can shoot, can create. And in theory, had the experience. They should have been ready. That's the issue with Arnautovic. He should have been doing this already for us last season, because when you sign a 34-year-old, you're expecting him to come in straight away, make impact. Because he's not, we can give a break to a guy that's, early 20s, maybe not from the league, or maybe he just had 1 year in the league and you think, okay, he'll need a season to get used to things. But when you sign a 34-year-old who's had many years in Serie A, he was already at Inter before, you just, you don't have there's no error margin for him. And the fan base definitely let him know. And that obviously, as soon as they started booing him and moaning at the San Siro, when they start doing that, his confidence was shot. But this season, it seems like finally he's a lot more. That's what I've been saying. Like, in general, his demeanor recently, Nick Knox, if you've noticed over the last few weeks, as his form has been improving, his demeanor and attitude has also changed, hasn't it? So, how is his form looking? I'm sure he's got like 4 or 5 goals now, isn't he? So he's got 3 goals in Serie A. What's in total? And he's got 1 in the Champions League, right? Oh no. Oh yeah, wait, 24, 25. How do I show his? Oh wait, here, season. Yeah, he's got 5 goals, 1 assist, which is not bad. 20 appearances, and how many of those starts? Probably only about 5 starts in that, 5 or 6 starts. 2 out of 2 in the Coppa Italia. It's not bad. It's not bad. The ending of this Napoli-Milan game is wild. Oh, you guys are tempting me, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna even look at it, because those guys are just gonna disappoint me. But yeah, it is a revival arc. Nick Knox definitely at the moment. Oh, there you go. Air conditioner lost. So now we can have a look actually at the table, at least. So to confirm the table of how things are looking between us and FC Nipples. So Inter 67 points. Status quo remains, and Napoli on 64. Bloody hell, man. Conte managing to just hold on. And that's all they need to do, Napoli, to keep the pressure on Inter. Let's not lie. This keeps the pressure on Inter. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe I think this team, we've seen it this season, maybe that's what they need, isn't it? As soon as they get a little bit overconfident or start feeling like they can just walk through to the Scudetto and Serie A is too easy for them, that's when they get slapped around. So maybe the fact that Napoli is staying right up our ass, 1 mistake and they're there to pounce, maybe it's a good thing. But at the same time, obviously for us as fans, it doesn't let us sleep very comfortably at night. And the fact, look how Napoli are doing it. 20 less goals than Inter they've scored, but only 4 less conceded. That's what's making the difference. 4 goals that they didn't concede. And we scored 20 more goals, but they're right there, just 3 points behind us. And now we've got 8 games left. 8 games left, guys. This has to be 8 finals. Atalanta definitely out of the race today. Today they lost to Fiorentina. They were barely in it, but they were definitely, you can't count them out whilst they're there, mathematically right there. But they never really seemed like themselves. They were convinced. Gasperini always tries to avoid talking about Scudetto. And today he admitted that we're out of the Scudetto race, that we're just focusing on getting top 4. So yeah, it is a race between Inter and Napoli, which is pretty much what we've been saying for the last few weeks, man. And if we're tied, it goes to a playoff game. Yeah, so it goes to if we end up both on, for example, we end up on 82 points, both of us. It's not about head to head. It goes to and I don't think they even count the goal difference, right? It just goes straight to this playoff game because they're trying to make things more exciting. AC only chance for Europe is winning Coppa. Oh yeah, and that's why they're even more now. They might play their hearts out against us on Wednesday, right? Yeah, Milan is just useless, absolutely useless. One thing that we needed from them, one favor, and they are just shite. Nipples will finish with 83, 43. Questions in to get more. What do you mean 83, 43? But yeah, probably. I think the Scudetto mark is going to be really low this year. It's going to be. I mean, what did we get last year? 91 points. It's definitely going to be around the early 80s mark this year for sure. It's going to be quite a low mark. Yeah, Bologna is definitely. I have more faith in Bologna helping us out the way they're performing. I mean, look at this. Vincenzo Italiano. Put some respect on his name. I've been very mixed about Italiano when he was at Fiorentina, but especially in retrospect now, when you see what he did at Fiorentina, actually was quite good, very good. And now at Bologna, you could say he's even outperforming what Thiago Motta did, because second year is even more difficult than doing it the first time around after selling a lot of players. And yeah, I want Bologna to stay forward, because then that means Juve are out, and then that means Juve don't get Champions League money. So Forza Bologna. I want Bologna to do it for multiple reasons, for sure. It was too much to hope for Milan. Surprising how much of a flop Santi Jimenez has been. Well, I don't know if has he been a flop. I mean, his goal record has been pretty good, but I think you see the difference. When you watch these players in the Eredivisie, sometimes the jump is big. Like sometimes I see some of you guys talk about players, Inter should sign this guy from Eredivisie as if he'd be like just a guaranteed hit. Like, I don't like to be that guy that talks about, especially we hate when Prem Tods do it about different leagues and being different level, but there definitely is a big jump between the top 4, top 5 leagues and the other leagues, which the Netherlands at the moment still isn't, for sure. As much as even if some teams might be doing well in the Champions League and Europa League and stuff, but it's the quality of defending and tactics in that league at the moment, it still isn't to the level of other leagues. We did them even a favor by beating the direct rival. Yeah, exactly. The team that's competing for the 10th, right, Matteo? It definitely doesn't need to be 8 finals. It needs to be Champions League final. Yeah, these guys need to play out their heart in every single one of these next few games. Oh yeah, thank you, Budzel, for reminding me. Yes, so if you haven't seen it, let me actually load it up so you guys can check it out. So finally, it's taken them a while, but fair play to them. They have, it took a lot of. It's there. But yeah, Calcio Charcha. So when I was in India, in Mumbai on holiday, I linked up with these guys who make Serie A content. These are guys from India, Mumbai based, most of them. They make content on Serie A, and I did a 2-hour, 24-hour podcast with them, like properly nice. Look at the quality of the camera and editing with them. They had like a full team, like behind the camera is a full team of guys, like 3 or 4 guys that chopped and edited and recorded this with the full, proper mics and everything. Really, really good. So yeah, if you want to get to know, there's a little bit about my journey, like not too long, is about, maybe about 5-6 minutes about my, backstory and, how I grew up, my background and stuff. But then, the other stuff is just, Inter and football, culture related. So check it out. And there's, like a little fun segment at the end where we did some little games. So yeah, check it out for sure. This is the thing, and I've posted it on my community tab. So if you haven't seen it, if you don't know about the community tab, it's the one here where I post like my little updates in here. So you can just go in here and just click the link in there. Yeah, we should get them to 1,000 views, guys. Let's get them to 1,000 views. So yeah, thank you, Budzel, for reminding me to give a little shout out for that. Yeah, unfortunately, Ass Club lost. Let me just go back up to some of your comments I might have missed. How tall I am? 6'3". Yeah, so I think that's in meters is 1.91 or something. So not close to 2 meters, I guess, but 6'3", 1.92 I think it is. Already, my boy, the stupid. Sommer should have not conceded the first one. I think what happened with Sommer on that goal was, I think he was caught by surprise. I think, and I agree, maybe he shouldn't have conceded. But first of all, Solet, he like chests it down. This is halfway line or before the halfway line. Like, it's such a good goal. Better be nominated for like goal of the month. Gets past the guy. Barella, very poor, very weak pressing, and the way he tried to win the ball here, not very good. And I know that people are probably waiting to criticize Aslani and other substitutes like Correa's, and Correa was ass. But Barella was pretty poor on this goal because Solet got past him so easily. And then the shot, like when you watch it in slow motion, he did it so well. He did like a almost kind of like when you feint with your body to kind of, you're gonna curl it. The easy thing to do, or the typical thing to do here, would be to try and curl it to the far post. But actually he kind of angled his body to make it look like he was gonna do that, and then he just hit it, closed the angle on it, and curled it. Like, my arrow there doesn't show it because my arrow is just straight, but it curled wide. But it wasn't very powerful. And yeah, the distance was enough. But I think, yeah, Sommer there is just kind of caught off, just like I think one of us was like, he's like, oh, he's not going to shoot from there, or he's not going to have enough power. But he managed to somehow generate enough power as well. So yeah, maybe he could have done better on that one. But aside from that, and afterwards, he did save us. So ready? I agree. Maybe could have done a tad a little bit better. I think he did even got a slight hand to the Solet shot. But on this one, he kept us in it because, Lorenzo Luca, we know he's very good at heading. That was going in the top corner, and he did it very, very well. He saved that very well, kept the 3 points for us. Am I concerned that we could choke all competitions? Definitely. That's been one concern for Interisti all season, hasn't it? We're, as Inzaghi pointed out, 3, or actually afterwards he corrected himself, 4 competitions. But we're in it to win all of them. But at the end, we could end up with 3, or with 4, with 3, or 2, 1, or nothing. We could end up with 0 titoli. So definitely, Luca, if you follow me, I am concerned with the squads, of course. Age profile, the injuries now, our playing style, the 3-5-2 is very exhaustive style of play because it needs a lot of energy, a lot of running compared to other systems of play. Because we don't have guys that can create things out of nothing. Everything is very methodical. It takes a lot of energy for us to create chances. So because of that, yes, I'm always concerned that this team isn't built to fight on 2, 3, 4 fronts. But I am still confident. I remain since the start of the season, even with the drops in form. I've been saying I think Inter will win the Scudetto, and I still believe that we will win the Scudetto. Yeah, they are a very good channel, can confirm. So yeah, make sure you check them out. They are from India, so they speak in English, but they do throw in a little bit of Hindi here and there. But primarily, I would say the channel is in English, so do subscribe to them. Oh, Nick Knox is the same height. Yeah, I can see you've got those skinny, tall guy looks as well. You can just tell. Sommer saved us several times today, and yet nobody's talking about that. Why is Sommer so underrated? No, I think in the earlier comments I did see people saying that. Mattia, I think, but yeah, he's underrated because he doesn't get involved too much. That's the issue, isn't it, Mattia? It's almost like us being good at defending means that our goalkeepers don't actually get involved too much. Onana, the reason why Onana was so hyped, because in that season, in the Champions League, we just, those Porto and Benfica games, Onana had to get heavily involved. That's why it became such a big hit. The Onana saves and the performances. It was because of those Champions League games. The thing is, for Sommer, is like, it's almost like it's a curse. It's like only if he does 1 or 2 saves, no one's gonna really notice because it's not, in your face, or it's not in the big Champions League night. He didn't really make any big saves against Atletico. Like it's that type of thing. It's like people won't notice until it's like a big moment. Today maybe his distribution wasn't too great, but Udinese are a big team. I think they are the tallest team in terms of average height in Serie A. They're massive. There's 3 centre backs that are all massive. Even the midfielders are big. The wing backs are big. The striker Luca is massive. It's a very big team. So in the air, they really they dominate in the air. But yeah, that's pretty much why, 3 saves, but 2 of them I would say quite big ones today from Sommer. But definitely not shouldn't be underrated today. Oh, I'm glad, Tambir, that you enjoyed that podcast. Atalanta probably drop out. No, I think Atalanta will be fine. I think they've got too much firepower, surely, to drop out. I have a fear that Napoli could possibly drop no more points. I mean, that's the thing, with Conte. I've been saying it all season, right? That once Conte gets in a certain position, he doesn't really let go. And we know in the league, he's just, especially with one competition, I can see that. But I can also see Inter going on a crazy run. It depends on what happens in the Champions League. If we keep going forward in the Champions League and Coppa Italia, then yeah, this squad is really gonna struggle. But if we drop out of Champions League, or if Milan beat us in the Coppa Italia, then we can focus our energies in Serie A. Then I can also see Inter going on a crazy run like this as well. Because, I mean, let's talk about some of the positives today. Yeah, definitely Handanovic comparisons are undeserved at the moment. The performance was very good today. My post-match reaction here might not sound like it because we end up, as Interisti, focusing too much on the negatives, but the performance was actually quite good today. Controlled, as I said, probably first 60 minutes, one of the better performances of this season, in my opinion. Udinese barely had a shot on goal. We created many chances, and let's go through some of those chances actually. Thank you, Eduardo. Yeah, as I said, if you weren't here, thank you for the donation. But I said I was gonna do like a watch along, and I saw that they were losing 2-0, and I was like, "F this!" And I also saw that they missed the penalty. It was useless, completely useless. Yeah, so going through some of the screenshots from the game, we started off good. This was the first minute. Really good play, good link-up play. We saw some shades of Limone ball today in many moments, and the goal was definitely really, really well played Limone ball moments. But this one here, I think it was, Thuram linking up on the wing and then passing in the middle to Hakan, who hits it to the side. It's a great start. And then Frattesi could have scored. So I think Mkhitaryan had a lovely run on the side, who puts it in for him in the middle, and then it gets blocked. I think it was Solet again. Bloody hell. It was Solet who blocked the first shot from Frattesi. It was pretty much a guaranteed goal. And then the second one should have been a guaranteed goal, and he somehow hits the post. And I could see a lot of Inter fans on Twitter starting to abuse him as usual. But then, luckily, we scored. Very good. This play on the first goal was lovely. It was our build-up play, the movement, the link up, and then Dimarco delivering a ball on the play to Arnautovic. Arnautovic actually didn't hit it very cleanly, but doesn't matter. Good finish on his weaker foot, bounces it off the floor into the goal, and that was Dimarco's first assist. And of course, Arnautovic celebrated with Marcus Thuram celebration. And then Frattesi makes up for his earlier big miss with another Dimarco assist, with a typical Frattesi goal, ghosting into the box, finishing first time on the volley. Good finish into the far post. And yeah, shout out to Dimarco. Dimarco coming back off injury, guys, and off very stinky form. Let's be real. 2025 has been very stinky from Dimarco, but coming back, first game back, 2 assists in 30 minutes. What a comeback from Dimarco. We have missed him for sure. So We are going to be missing Dumfries for the next couple of games. It looks like he won't even be making it back for the Bayern game, unfortunately. Originally, it looked like he would be back for the first Bayern game, but now the reports are saying he's not going to be back. But at least we recovered Dimarco. Darmian is back. So it's like, and Zalewski's back as well. So we get something, but then we also taking something away. But at least we are on the way back in terms of injuries. Obviously, Zielinski's going to be out for a while. Lautaro is a little bit weird. Like, he flew out to Argentina, and then he came back. And apparently he might not even play in the Milan derby as well on Wednesday. So it looks like it's something small, but serious enough for him to miss the next game too. He missed today's game, and he looks like he's going to miss the next game, but he should be back for the next Serie A game. But yeah, Dumfries now it says mid-April, so that's a pain. That's a pain because Dumfries, especially in European games, you guys know. I think Dumfries is. I've always said he's like our European night player. Like his athleticism is made for those European nights, and we are going to miss him against Bayern for sure. But at least we've got Dimarco back, so it is what it is. But yeah, his link up today on the left with Mkhitaryan. I think it was both goals. It was linking up with Mkhitaryan as well. I think Mkhitaryan made the pre-assist for both of the goals, if I remember correctly, to make up for obviously Frattesi and Darmian not doing much on the other side. Frattesi, let's talk about him. I mean, we've got Frattesi's number one fan in the house, our boy Gabri. His stats not too bad today. Player of the match according to Fotmo, but I wouldn't put him as man of the match for sure. But decent, obviously his usual sub 80% accurate pass rate, but that's Frattesi. A little bit better in some instances. In some of those, when it's tight spaces, again, he was giving the ball away too easily, and the play just breaks down when he has the ball. But some of the other moments he did better. Was good defensively a couple of times. I like some of the runs he made back. Yeah, look at this: 4 defensive action, 4 recoveries, won all his duels. And even when he celebrated today, there was, you could see the anger and the grinta coming back today. And there was something that I bookmarked. So on his Instagram he says: "Oggi era troppo importante, vi chiedo scusa se ogni tanto sembro spento, ma chi mi conosce sa che cosa sta succedendo," which means obviously today was very important, but so this is the next important part. I ask for forgiveness if I seem a little bit off, but who knows me, or people that know me know what's happening. So aside from a little bit of injury issues as well with Frattesi, I think, and what I read the comments as well, I think it is, we've heard about his grandma not being very well over the last few months. And yeah, I think that situation's also, maybe affecting him. And the fact that he posted that, I think he knows that me Inter fans, we've been complaining that his grinta, and, he just seems a little bit off. Because that's what he's all about, Frattesi. That's, I've said that, if he's not offering grinta, running, and, his goal scoring, what are you really gonna offer Frattesi? So today you saw much more of the normal Frattesi performance, Well, I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see, as long as he is at our club, I'm going to support him. I think he's gone for sure in the summer. But he does provide big goals. And today, Gabri pointed it out as well. He did score the match-winning goal in fact, this is 2-1, and his one is the second goal. So in theory, he's got the match-winning goal, which he did for us many times last season, didn't he? Big goals last year. And how many goals is he on now this season? He must be on 5-6 goals. And this is a bad season for Frattesi. 5 goals in Serie A. Was all competitions. How do I see the whole thing? Oh yeah, season. Yeah, 5 goals, 1 assist. Not too bad. Not too shabby from the boy. But yeah, I hope his situation with his grandma is resolved soon. I hope she's gets better. because this guy is very important off the bench whenever we need him, like we did last season. I think I've made peace with the fact that he's not going to really improve to the level that we need him to improve. That I think to the level that Inzaghi wants him to improve on the ball, off the ball. But as a marauding, attacking central midfielder, he is one of the best around. And whoever signs him next, I'm telling you guys, he is going to have a good career. And we're going to be like, oh, we should have used him. I can see already, as soon as Frattesi is going to be putting up, a 7-8 goal scoring season for another team, you'll be like, oh, we should have kept him. He's useful off the bench. He's a useful weapon to have off the bench. Because he will be a very good player for if he goes to, if Antonio Conte signs it for Napoli or if he goes to Roma. But he's just not, into starting material and he wants to play. So let's make all parties happy and let's make some money out of him. And you don't forget to like the video. Thank you, Mattia, as usual. Francis Walsh says, let's concentrate on Inter. Couldn't care what Napoli does. We need to win every match Serie A and it's done. Yeah, 100%. That's the thing, once you are the leaders, it doesn't really matter what the other team does. You just need to concentrate on yourself. You just keep winning and it doesn't even matter what Napoli are doing. It doesn't even, cross your mind, because if you keep winning, what Napoli does, and that's actually the thing, today Napoli put pressure on us by winning, but every game, if we keep winning, we're also putting pressure on them. Every time we win, they'll probably lose. They'll probably think, oh, these guys are just not going to lose, right? These just not going to catch up to them. So in the same way, they put pressure on us today. Every time we win, we're going to put pressure on them. So I agree, Francis. Let's concentrate on us. But of course, at the same time, Francis, I am going to be watching those Napoli scorelines every time they play. So there's only 3 points, and we've seen a lot of the same players that lost the Scudetto to Milan a few years back. They're still there, Francis. Hot take: should have subbed Inzaghi after the yellow card. Yeah, he just sub himself out for Paris. Inzaghi, he's asking for a red card almost every game now. He needs to. We love it with Inzaghi, the fieriness and the passion that we see on the sideline, but he's stepping on the pitch almost every single game. He's always outside of his technical area. He needs to calm it down a bit. I think he's going to become a target for referees if he continues like this, because I see a lot of the other team fans saying, like, how does Inzaghi get away with it? He always is like in the other half of the pitch. He always inside the pitch. Like, it's true. Inzaghi, he's doing it so much. He needs to calm it down because he's going to become a target for referees otherwise. David believes in the treble. Fair play. I don't believe in it, David, but you can believe in it. I believe in the double, but I don't believe in the treble. Biggest regret is Inzaghi never played Frattesi Centre Big. Oh my God. This guy, guys, he always messages me on Instagram. This has been his biggest dream. Gabri always messages me is about Frattesi being played at left centre back. And I agree with him, I feel like, it shouldn't be as cemented that a player can only play as a right centre mid. But for some reason, Inzaghi only sees him in the right centre mid position. I don't know what it is. We play against team. Napoli plays against the clock and calendar. Frat haters in the mud, they know who they are. Yeah, again, this is why it's always funny when people are just like, get him out of my club right now, or or the other end is just defend him. We know what his attributes are, and today he showed them. Sometimes he doesn't, and we know that he's not into material in terms of starter, but he's worth 30, 35. Apparently, Inter 140 million for him. That is a big value. If you get that money, you gotta sell him. But to me, I'm always happy to have a guy like Frattesi. Every day of the week, I would want a Frattesi-like profile on my bench, because he offers you something different that Barella can't offer, Mkhitaryan definitely can't offer. And hopefully Sucic can offer, but I don't think he can offer that right now. I think even next season, when Sucic comes in and Frattesi leaves, we are going to miss Today I think he had the most shots. So like he was whenever you when the move finished in terms of if Inter create a move, at the end of it, it wasn't Thuram or Arnautovic at the end of it, apart from the goal, obviously. It was Frattesi. I think Frattesi had 4 shots today. How many shots did he have? Yeah, 4 shots. How many did Arnautovic have? 2? 1 shot. How many did Thuram have? 1. So that's the thing. Like when he plays, it's literally like he's playing as an auxiliary attacker. People laugh sometimes. He should be. Yeah, here he is. Frattesi should convert to a striker, but he is like when he plays for Inter. Like when he plays in the defensive phase, he's defending. But then when we're attacking, the reason why he doesn't touch any balls is because he's in the box. He's with the strikers. He is playing like as an auxiliary striker when he plays because he's always at the end of the move. He's barely ever involved in the beginning or the middle of the move. He's always involved right at the end of it, and that's his best attribute. In our treble-winning season, we only won the Scudetto by 2 points. Yeah, again, that season you saw, Inter were the best team in Italy then, but even for that stacked team, you can only have, you spread your energies thin. And you're talking about legendary players, you're talking about the greatest African striker of all time, Samuel Eto'o, one of the greatest Argentinian strikers of all time, Milito, Lucio, Samuel, Zanetti, Cambiasso, what a team that was, Schneider, and all that. But in the end, you can only have energy so many times throughout the league. And, even that season, I think what was the tally that we had, about 80 something points and just 2 points over the next team. So it's difficult, guys. It's very, very difficult when you play so many competitions, even if you are a stacked team. Inter needs a striker with the same profile as Luis Suarez and Isak. Yeah, you mean like a complete profile, a guy that can play but also dribble but also be clinical. That's a very, very rare profile, very, very rare profile, but that would be the ideal profile, isn't it? Someone who's got a bit of everything. Who would be the Pazzini of this season? Castro. Oh, you mean the guy who gets the goal to help us out? Yeah. Hopefully. I mean, that would be amazing. Santiago Castro has been linked very strongly to Inter. They call him the mini Lautaro, the next Lautaro. That would be one way to endear himself to our fan base if he ever is going to sign for Inter. He did someone as a second striker for Italy the other day. Yeah, Spalletti plays him in the more attacking role. So I think he does see him as the Simone Perrotta, for Roma. Spalletti, when he used to play Totti as a false 9, he would play a 4-2-3-1. Totti false 9, Simone Perrotta as the attacking midfielder behind, who was basically Frattesi, a guy very limited technically, Perrotta, but he could run his heart. He could run for days. Very good at running in behind. Very good at running into space. Late runs into the box. And that's probably who Spalletti sees in Frattesi, and I agree. Toto Lorenzo Luca, he's okay, big lump of a guy, but he's decent technically. Wouldn't mind him as a backup option, but Udinese talking about 25-30 million euros asking price. But I see him becoming one of those, maybe he'll peak quite late, like a Luca Toni, perhaps. Or, like those mid-table ballers, some people that watched the Serie A earlier on in the, early 2000s might know Caracciolo, those guys like that, Amauri, those kind of guys that can peak late. But I think he strikes me as he's going to be a good player for like mid-table teams or maybe a team like, that challenging for 7th, 8th spot. Could be, a good striker for those teams, putting up 15, 20 goals for that type of team, maybe even playing for Italy. I can see him being a good backup for Italy for sure, his profile. And we don't have any other strikers like that in Italy. This guy is 6'5", 6'6", massive. Just as an impact substitute to bring on in games. But for teams like Inter, Juve, Milan, I only really see him as a backup. Will there be a preview for the post-match for Coppa? Yeah. So post-match for sure, and pre-match. So I might link up with Martino Puccio, the Milan fan. He hasn't let me know yet. On his channel it will be, but on my channel I'll do it on my own. But check out, I'll let you know on the community tab and on Twitter, of course, if I do collab with him. But he's busy with work. Perotta, isn't the guy who scored a hat-trick against us when Roma destroyed us in that final? Is he? Did he score a hat-trick against us, Perotta? Jeez, I don't remember that. I've removed that from my memory if that happened. Simone Perotta hat-trick Inter. Let me see if I... Nothing's come up on Twitter, on Google when I type that. Maybe, could be. But I don't remember that. If it has happened, I've completely removed that from me, from my memory. I think Frattesi said once his role models are Perotta and Marchisio. Yeah, that says a lot. I mean, Marchisio was definitely a lot more technical, but Perotta wasn't. But yeah, as I guess probably, he's a Romanista, so that's probably why. Unrelated with Candreva was good, right, in his prime. Yeah. For Lazio, he was great. But not for Inter, unfortunately. Until he turned a wing back. As a wing back for Inter under Conte, he was good. But before that, as a winger in the 4-2-3-1 under Spalletti, he wasn't good. But for Lazio, before that, and for Italy, he was really, really good. Those couple of years between 2015 and maybe 2017, or 2014 and 2017, it was those 3 years with the Candreva was very good, which is why we signed him for 25 million. But then it went downhill. But then he had a late career revival after he left Inter. At Sampdoria, Salernitana, he became a cult figure. So happy retirement to him. So Inzaghi won't go to Parma. I guess so. Yeah. If we win a treble, would Arna become an international? I mean, he already is Eduardo, is he not? I mean, he's a treble. I mean, I know he's a mascot treble legend, but just when you go back to see videos of the treble era, this guy always comes up because of the buffoonery he was doing with Quaresma and Balotelli off the pitch, and there's videos of him dancing around and being all that stuff. So regardless of that, he's somewhat of an Inter legend anyway. But imagine being a double treble winner. That would just he'd definitely be the worst. I mean, I'll have to double check if there's any other players that won the treble twice. He might be the worst ever double treble winner. I think it was a 6-2 loss to Rome. Wow, I don't even. I literally remembered. Wiped it off my memory if that's happened. Lorenzo Luca for $35 million. Yeah, that's that's not sub striker money. So if you're talking about sub striker, you're talking about 15-20 million. 35 million, you're talking about a guy that's coming in to be, at least challenging to be a starter. Ranocchia better than Arnautovic. I mean, in terms of course, what they've contributed to Inter for sure. Ranocchia contributed much more and helped us out much more. But if he wins a double treble like Nick Knox, it's just those those arguments are just dead. What happened to the links with Jonathan Tah is no longer happening. I think he's asking for a lot of salary. He's asking for a lot of money. But they were saying Barcelona close to signing him, but we know with Barcelona, can they actually sign players? So I wouldn't be surprised if the links get revived at some point. I mean, there hasn't been any confirmation of the Barcelona signing him, but they were the ones that seemed like they had the agreement. But I think for the oak tree, the way they want to operate, if he's asking, 5-6 million net for what is he, 30 years old? I think they probably won't push for that. If he's asking for around if we can get him for around 3.5-4 million net, I think they might go for that, because that is, you're getting a really top class centre back, and that is a centre back. That's a centre back. He's made for that role. He's got the experience. He's got the nous. He's got the ability. He's still got a bit of athleticism as well. Of course, he's getting older and he's big, but we saw him for Germany against Italy. He's still got it. Moise Kean quiet. You saw Isaac Kean today, couldn't hold Moise Kean. So I definitely would be looking if possible. But yeah, it seemed like it was Barcelona were favourites for him. Inter with Arnautovic. I mean, then if this happens, then we have to renew him, because that means this guy is our lucky mascot. Like, Arnautovic equals Scudetto for Inter. Like, we have to sign this guy on a lifetime contract, because that, even me as a superstitious person, this guy is just the lucky charm. Keep this guy in the squad, in the dressing room, wherever it takes. We might as well try for Fagioli. Yeah, but you know what it is. You can't, negotiating with Juve when you enter, it's always a big pain in the ass. And it's Fagioli. I do like him. I do like Fagioli, but he's very stagnated. He's a stagnating talent. And I think, again, I think Fiorentina is a very good team for him. As you know, as an Italian national team fan, I hope he stays at Fiorentina. I think that's the right team for him. I don't know if he is Juve Inter level. No, I wouldn't. I would say Fagioli technically is more talented than Sucic, but yeah, Sucic is definitely better physically. Bokema is a good option. Yeah, I do like Bokema. I need to watch more games of him, like, closely. Like with a magnifying glass to see mistakes and things like that. Like, with Bijou we've been seeing. But I do like what I see of Bokema. He strikes me as he reminds me of De Vrij a lot. It's technically very good, solid physically and defensively. I need to have a look at him. Oh, Panucci. Yeah, I was gonna say Perrotta. That would have been like worldwide famous, a Perrotta hat trick. Roma fans would be going on about that all the time if we played Roma. Perrotta hat trick, Van Dijk. I mean, yeah, of course, Van Dijk would be amazing as well. But again, the money he would ask for would be very, very high. He probably would ask for like Lautaro, maybe not Lautaro money, but Hakan level money, and I don't think we would go for that. But that would be amazing, and definitely not the oak tree model. Singo, oh man, you guys know me. That's another one. Singo. Now that one was pushing for. This one I was also saying, if we ever sell Dumfries, or if we get rid of Darmian, get Singo as a wing back, and now he's even turned into a centre back. But again, this is not a centre back. This guy is definitely a left centre back. Centre back is very, very different. Isaac Kean, yeah, you guys know I'm not really a big fan. You saw today what he did. I mean, Gabri, if you haven't seen the mistake he did today for Moise Kean's goal. In the Atalanta system, everything is going forward, just press. He's a very headless centre-back. He's good because he's very physical. He's a monster, like physically and athletically. Decent read of the game, good tackling, but the centre-back position for Inter is very much more like, we're happy to sit back sometimes for good 10, 15 minutes of a game. Isaac Kean, I don't trust him if we're like sitting back and has to read the game, read the positioning. Yes. Isaac Kean, no. Only need 12 more wins. Only the rate is very poor, but it is possible. When you put it like that, Tommy, it's definitely possible. But you've told me, you've proposed these trebles and quadruples to me in the past, Tommy. So now I have proof, and I have, facts against you that, when you come to me with this high level of positivity, it hasn't happened. It hasn't come through. I believe in as I keep saying, I believe in the double. I think we can do the Coppa Italia Scudetto double. I don't think, something depending on the Champions League run, but I think Coppa Italia Scudetto to me is realistic. Roma beat into 6-2 and 7-2, 3 goals. Yeah, there he is. I have to go to work. Yeah, I need to go as well now, guys. I got carried away with the comments. So thank you very much, everyone that's come through. My man of the match is... Who is the man of the match, guys? Yeah, let's end it on that. Who is the man of the match? Ola Aina is cooking. Man of the match, Dimarco. Yeah. Sommer. Yeah, I mean, Sommer, again, I know, like, you don't want to underrate him, but I don't think the one couple of big saves give. But yeah, he definitely deserves a shout. Actually, yeah, I mean, there's no real clear shout. So actually, I would actually give it to Sommer. You guys are right, because Dimarco, 60 minutes, 2 assists, but then you could see that he was kind of, he was a little bit sloppy in some, because, you can see he's a bit rusty. He's coming back from injury. Dimarco. Actually, yeah, no, Frattesi deserves a shout as well for being game winner, but it wasn't a man of the match performance. I'm happy to give it to to Sommer. I know more people are saying Dimarco, but I can, in terms of saving the result in the end, without Sommer's big save, this one here, where we're looking at a completely... Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. This one, we're looking at a completely different game, and we're looking at a moaning stream and a negative stream where we're crying and pissing. So yeah, Bobby Miley, agree. Those 2 saves were really, really big. So without those, he made the big difference. So yeah. But everyone else, I was happy with like the general play from everyone. It was the substitutes that let us down, but in general, everyone was pretty decent today. I have no complaints from any of the starters. Hakan was good as well. Defensively, I liked him. He looks like he's coming back to form. I hope so anyway. We need to dunk on Milan. And of course, we need Hakan to dunk on Milan. That's our favorite thing to see. Hakan dunking on Milan, and Dumfries won't be there for the Dumfries and Theo Hernandez battle. Damn it. I always love that battle. But yeah, guys, Inter remain first, plus 3 points on Napoli. Good result for us. We keep going. Keep a lookout before the Milan derby on Wednesday for a match preview. Thank you, everyone that's come through. Thank you for Eduardo for the donation, and thank you for all the channel members for continuing to support the channel. Keep a lookout for content in the coming days. Check out the Calcio Charcha podcast. Check out my Inter's best top 10 transfers since 2010 video if you haven't. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. Ciao ragazzi, always Forza Inter, Forza Arnautovic, Forza Frattesi.